Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with Mr. Roberto Mori today. He is Director of Special Projects in Tenova, former President of IPMA Italy, and Chairman of IPMA Ethics Committee. He is in charge of our first unit in specializing master contract claim and delay management in construction works. The title of the unit is Introduction to the Project Lifecycle Analysis. And we are here today for him to tell us something about the contents of his lessons.
Good morning. Thank you, Professor Franchi. We concentrated on the 3 days module on mainly the most important aspect to be covered in the startup phase of a project, that by far is the most critical one in all projects. Of course, we took the real-life project situation into consideration in order not to concentrate only on theoretical aspects, but bring those into the real-life context. So we started to identify the decomposition structures of any project, that is the work breakdown structure, the organization breakdown structure, the cost breakdown structure, and their interconnecting in order to give the project management team a continuous overview of the status of the project and of the monitoring of the same in order to have a real-time overview of the situation and be ready to take corrective actions in case that any deviation from the baselines, cost, time, and other performance parameters, deviation could be there, and to take the necessary corrective actions. A very important point that we concentrate on are the other 2 basic pillars that we have to build at the beginning of the project, that is the risk analysis and the stakeholder analysis and the respective management structures. Today, in the modern project management, risk management and stakeholder management are really basic, vital pillars that were not there as such until 15-20 years ago. And the need to have a careful overview of all of these aspects is one of the most important to ensure the success of any project. Also, we made some deep analysis and discussion on the legal aspects, because the contract management of any important project, but like the infrastructure project that we are dealing with, are of course strictly linked to the contract stipulations and how to handle them. In other words, nowadays, a project manager or a project director of these important projects cannot but be also, let's say, a kind of lawyer, at least having a deep sensitivity of all the legal aspects and to be able to deal with them and to negotiate when the need arises, even without having the continuous support of the legal department of any project. So these are the aspects that, in our opinion, and as confirmed from our experience in this field of projects, are of utmost importance in order to start with the right pace, with the right steps, in order to minimize the risk of project failure.
Thank you very much. You talked about legal aspects of a project. Sometimes there is a bit of confusion which is the role of a technical professional figure like an engineer or an architect dealing with these legal aspects. So basically when you think an engineer or an architect he is to take action and when instead he has to recognize that it goes beyond his or her abilities and so consult a lawyer or someone else.
In general, it is not expected of technical people taking direct action on managing with the customer or other stakeholders legal aspects. Of course, I'm talking about the experience I have. Instead, it is of utmost importance, mainly when many complex projects are underway, that they have legal sensitivity in order to understand that possible technical decisions being taken by them could have contract implication, of course, starting from the point of view of the cost, of the economical part, but also the responsibility, also the compliance with the scope of work that is contractually required. Because the project manager and the contract manager, when he or she is there, cannot have a daily look at all the aspects, otherwise there would not be any need of teamwork. But it must be brought to their attention the fact that in some areas of the design, in some areas of the basic design decision being taken, some important contractual aspects could be embedded, and therefore that those must be brought to the attention of the project or contract manager in order to decide and discuss with the client.
So basically, you think that a specializing master like this one, which aims to give some legal, you talked about sensibility, no, to technical professional figures, could be useful.
Yes, you're very right, because we cannot think of a project that every day calls into action the lawyers, the legal department of the companies, so because the project is being managed, must be managed by the project manager, not by the lawyers. The lawyers are to give support under request, and the project manager and his or her team must have the sensitivity to understand when they can be autonomous in taking decision and when instead they would need the legal department support. So today I am unable to think of a project manager dealing with important, demanding, challenging projects without some kind of autonomy in dealing with the contractual issues. That are those that almost every day are on the table with the client, with the partners, with the suppliers, and on which very often the final success, of course, in terms of money, of economic aspect, but also of risk profile is based.
Thank you very much, Roberto, and I hope to see you again for the third edition of the Special
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you very much.